Hey everyone, welcome to FSi DFS. I'm McKinley412. I hope you're having a wonderful start to the week as we head into Tuesday. And a massive slate is on tap. 13 games, almost 600 skaters are going to be taking the ice just on this slate alone that we're going to have to kind of navigate and sort through. And we'll get through all that. But please, before we get started, just a couple of things. Please hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. Drop a comment down below as well. We really do appreciate it. We've been getting a lot of positive feedback with these videos, and truly, it really does mean a lot to me, all the positivity that we've had. And then if you want to come join us at FSi DFS, you can go to our website, hit that subscriptions page, and if you use the code POWERPLAY, you'll see there's a daily package. If you use the coupon code POWERPLAY, you'll get a free day of access into the Discord, and use it on one of these big slates. You can ask me questions right up until lock. I'll be covering, you'll get access to cores. We'll have GPP cores, cash cores for the main classic slates, and then we're just going to have a standard core for the showdowns and tiers as well. So come join us at FSI. It's a great, it feels like a family. Everybody is super supportive of one another. And yeah, we'd love to have you. So let's just dive right in. 13 games, and Florida is going to be leading the charge in terms of the money line. Biggest favorite on the board at minus 280. Other big favorites, Boston, Vegas, and New Jersey. New Jersey is on the road facing off against Montreal. Montreal is the only team that is going to be playing on a back-to-back. Everybody else has some nice rest to them. Only one game has an over-under of 7, and it is that Florida-San Jose game. And everything else is pretty average in what you would expect in terms of the over-unders. Going down to the projected goalkeepers, and that's exactly what they are right now. They are projected. This is not confirmed. As you go throughout the day, just make sure that you are playing goalkeepers that are confirmed. But this is kind of what I'm expecting it to look like. Lots of red, lots of green. So let's break it down. These middle numbers, these are just the 2022 save percentage numbers from last season. We're still really early on. There's not a whole lot of data to go on, but I didn't want to completely ignore this year's data as well. So we'll get into that real quick. But this is last year's save percentage data. Your average NHL goalie is going to have like a 905 to 910 save percentage. So above that's green, below that is red. Allmark was leading the way last year with a 938 save percentage. Gustafsson at 931. And then a couple guys had some really rough seasons. So that was last year's stats. But you also see I have some of these goalies in green, marked green, some of them marked red. The goalies that are marked green have done very well to start the season. They have at least 3 games played, and they have a save percentage of 930 or greater. Guys in red, they've had a really rough start to the season. They've had 3 games played or appearances and have a save percentage below 890. So guys like Binnington, really intriguing. They really struggled last year, but in the very brief sample size that we do have this year, it looked really solid. Vizmelka, kind of the same deal. Shesterkin, he's one of the really solid goalies from last year who's kind of struggled to start the season. But again, we're only talking like 3-4 game sample sizes for a lot of these guys. Best goalie by far in the entire league so far this season has been Georgiev. He's 5-0. He's got a save percentage of like 958 or something. It's just absurd what he's been able to do in that so far this season. Antti Ranta, he's been arguably the worst goaltender so far this season. He's got 3 appearances, a save percentage of 818. 818, not 880, 818. It has been real rough for Ranta in that. So if he is in, I'm going to have a whole lot more interest in Tampa Bay. If he's not in, maybe tone down the Tampa Bay love a little bit. But yeah, he's struggling, even though he, is a fairly decent goaltender and playing on Carolina, who is arguably, I think actually they are a favorite to win the Stanley Cup this season. So let's head into some line stacks here. Now, these are not all the line stacks that I have interest in. It's 13 games. It's a lot of lines going on, but these are the ones that I really caught my eye at first glance. So this top line of Florida, again, I said is the biggest favorite. It's also got the highest over-under in that game. Rodriguez, Barkov, and Reinhart. all three of these guys are able to generate a solid floor for you as well and give you that ceiling. Facing off against San Jose, San Jose very early on is showing us that they're probably the worst team in all of hockey. They're allowing almost 40 shots on net. You can see this little box over here. We got shots against per game. San Jose is almost allowing 40 shots per game, dead last by a wide margin. They're also allowing almost 4 goals per game because they don't have great goaltending either. So Rodriguez, in terms of cash games, Rodriguez is probably going to be a lock. He's going to be receiving like monstrous ownership in cash games just because of the floor that he provides. He's got 4 or more shots in every single game. And on DK, if you get 5 shots on net, you get the bonus as well. And that 5 shot on goal bonus, the 5 shots on net plus the bonus, is worth more than a goal itself. So at 5.1K, given the consistency that he has, the opportunity, all that combined, he's going to be extremely popular. Barkov and Reinhardt as well. If you're playing tournaments, you got to get off of this line. Another line that I do like is Tampa Bay. And I don't have the full top line. I did go with Hedman, their top defender, and then the top line center of Point and Kucherov. So in the NHL, home road splits, they're actually a thing. In the NHL, the home team can kind of match which line they want to put out against their opponent. So oftentimes they'll go like superstar against superstars. Other teams will choose a more like defensive forward group to try to shut down the top line of the away team. So home road splits actually do matter. One of the guys who has been a just machine or a monster in home road splits over the course of his career, and it's just exponentially increased so far this season. Small sample size, but it's been Nikita Kucherov. 3 games at home, he's already got 6 goals and an assist. He's averaging like 34 DK points per game. In 3 games on the road, so same amount of time, he's got 0 goals, 2 assists. Not looking real great on the road. So I do like Tampa Bay in this spot going up against Carolina. Carolina, you can see if we go down to the notable special teams here, Carolina's power or penalty kill has really struggled. 3rd from the bottom, only a 67.9% penalty kill rate. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay power play, the guys like Kucherov, Point, and Hedman are one of the tops in the league, currently sitting at 35% success rate on the power play. So I really like this Tampa Bay side. Tampa Bay, this is going to be an up and down affair, I think. And especially if Ranta's in net, it boosts Tampa Bay a little bit more for me. Barboulay, he is the top line guy on the left wing. He's cheap. He doesn't get any power play time. He skates. He doesn't get any power play time, and he's just got a limited floor. He doesn't really shoot the puck a whole lot. Yeah, he can get an assist here and there. Yeah, he's going to generate a shot here and there. But I'd much rather just go with Hedman, or even go to a guy like Stamkos, or a guy like Paul at 4.1K. Go with one of those guys who also skates on the top power play unit, who, I'd rather get different at even strength if it means having the power play correlation together. Speaking of home road splits, DeBrincat, he is just unreal right now. He's probably one of the hottest skaters in all of hockey, one of the hottest shooters in all of hockey right now. And really this whole Detroit team in general as a whole has been awesome. They lead the league in goals scored per game at 5 goals per. They're facing off against Seattle. Seattle, they are more of a let's keep it tight defensively, kind of, choke off the opponent. But still, I think that Detroit's going to be able to do just fine at scoring at least 3, probably even 4 goals in this one. And they don't get full power play correlation, which does stink. Lucas Raymond, power play 2, 4.2K, but still, he provides the value that you can get on this line. But DeBrincat and Larkin are definitely the guys that are going to give you the floor, but they also provide you with ceiling as well. DeBrincat, I think he's already got 10 points on the season, most of them coming on home ice in those 3 games that they've had on home ice. So I think 7.3 is just a little bit too cheap with just how good this Detroit offense has been to start the year. And then the last line stack that I do want to talk about here is going to be that top line from Minnesota. They're going to be welcoming Edmonton into their arena. Edmonton is going to be out with is going to be without Connor McDavid for the next, I think it was 1 to 2 weeks. And when you lose McDavid, I mean, he's the greatest hockey player in the entire world. It's not even a contest. He is that good. And when he's on the ice, he controls play. He has the puck on his stick, and obviously when the puck's on his stick, it's not on the opponent's stick. But losing McDavid is going to be huge. So I do have a lot of interest in Minnesota here. I really think that they can take advantage. Eriksson Ek, he is the second line center, but he does skate on that top power play unit. If you do want to go with a full even strength line stack, Hartman is that top line center. I think he is, I have him over here. He's 5.1K, but he's going to be the center at even strength with Kaprizov, with Zuccarello. But if you go with this route of Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, and Zuccarello, not only do you get full power play correlation, but you also kind of spread your exposure at even strength. So if there's a Minnesota goal notification, that top line, yeah, could be scoring, but that second line could also be scoring as well, and you might even get an Eriksson Ek share on that one. So Minnesota, offensively, they've been really solid to start the season. They're top 10 in even strength goals. They're top 10 in power play percentage. And Edmonton, I mean, they're struggling defensively to start the year, and it's kind of been something that's been an issue for them as in previous years as well. So before we get into the individual plays, let's look at some of the notable special teams. New Jersey against Montreal. These are obviously not all of them, but these are the ones that had like the widest gaps between the power plays and the penalty kills. And these are 2023 stats. Most teams have played 4, 5, 6 games at this point in time. So it's still not a massive sample size, but it is still something worth monitoring. But New Jersey, their top power play unit has been absolutely unreal. In Montreal, again, they're going to be on the second end of a back-to-back. Maybe they got some tired legs. They're going to be using their sticks a little more to try to slow guys down, and you can't do that. That's illegal in the NHL, hooking. So New Jersey might get an extra power play or two because of it. Vancouver against Nashville. Nashville's PK has looked horrendous. Carolina, we already talked about them. And then St. Louis. I do want to talk about them here real quick. They have been dead last in penalty kills so far this season. Only 63%. That is just atrocious. And they're going to be going up against Winnipeg. One thing I do like about Winnipeg is that their top line is fully correlated. And honestly, I probably could have put Winnipeg in one of these line stacks that I was talking about earlier here. So Winnipeg, that top line is going to be Kyle Connor, it's going to be Mark Scheifele, and Alex Iafallo. He got a bump up into that right wing top line for Winnipeg. So top line is fantastic. I think they're going to provide a lot of floor. And with the full power play correlation, that makes it even better. Pretty decent favorite at minus 180. So I think that could go well for them too. So looking at the individual plays here, let me just zoom in so we can see those a little bit better. There we go. All right, so the individual plays, and this is not all of them. Like I mentioned, there's almost 600 players taking the ice here tonight that we got to sort out. These are just some of the guys that caught my eye as I was just kind of scrolling through the lineups. So again, come join us. You can get a free access into our Discord using the code POWERPLAY. We'd love to have you. But at center, Jack Hughes. I already talked about New Jersey. They're going to be controlling majority of play. They're just incredible on offense, on the power play. Like New Jersey all around is going to be a play. So Jack Hughes, he skates in between Tyler Toffoli and Timo Meier. You can see I have highlighted Toffoli here. He's the same price as Bratt. Bratt skates on the second even strength line, but Bratt does get power play one time with Hughes with Toffoli. So you could have some interest there. And also, just real quick, when I'm talking about their skating with these guys at these lines, that is based off of like the practice lines from yesterday. Morning skate typically doesn't happen until around like 10 to 11 a.m. I get these videos out before then. So there could be some shuffling in the lines, but there's like 2 great websites that you could go utilize. They're not sponsors, they're not ads, but I do really appreciate all the work that they do. dailyfaceoff.com as well as Left Wing Lock. Go check those guys out. They'll have all the updated line combinations and everything that you could be utilizing. But for the most part, things remain fairly stagnant. Draisaitl 8.8K. I already talked about Connor McDavid. He's going to be out for 1 or 2 weeks, and really, it's going to be a lot of Edmonton's offense is going to be flowing through Draisaitl. He's going to have to take a lot of responsibility, or hopefully expect some other guys are going to be stepping up. If you do want to go with Draisaitl, you could pair him with a guy like Hyman, who's going to see an increased role because of McDavid's absence. He's already skated on the top power play unit, but again, without McDavid, the offense has to get somewhere. Like, he is just that. It's like losing Kevin Durant in the NBA, or I don't know. I can't. I'm not even sure I can name all the NBA teams. I don't know who's good in the NBA. But it's losing those guys, like the volume guys. It's got to go somewhere, right? So Hyman at 6.6K, I think he's really intriguing. And then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins could be another guy that you pair with Draisaitl or Hyman, who's going to be getting that top power play unit time as well. Jack Eichel, he just shoots the puck a lot, so I really like him at 7.5K. Malkin, he's had an incredible start to the season for Pittsburgh, but I'll be honest, I don't have a whole lot of interest in this Pittsburgh Dallas game. Dallas is just solid defensively, and it's probably going to be Jake Ottinger in net, who's one of the better goalies in the entire league. But yeah, Malkin, 6.9K. I still think he's just a little bit too cheap. Mark Scheifele, already talked about him in terms of that top Winnipeg line. Scheifele, Connor right here at 7.2K, and Iafallo at 4.2K. So I guess I kind of already did highlight the entire stack, just because I think that they're fantastic and in a really good spot. Hayton for Arizona, he's going to be their top line center. Hayton's going to be skating with Schmaltz, and he's going to be skating with Clayton Keller here on top line. They're also going to have full power play correlation as well. Arizona's going to be facing off against the Kings. The LA is going to have some goaltending woes, I think, throughout the course of the season. We've talked about it in videos past already, and that they spent most of their salary cap on the forwards, just trying to outscore teams. So I think it could be really intriguing. Like, nobody's going to be playing Arizona. Like, if you want a tournament stack that's going to be 1 to 2% owned, I honestly think it's going to be this Arizona stack of Hayton, Schmaltz, and Keller. Hartman, already talked about him. Paul, he's going to be skating on the top power play unit with Kucherov, with Point, with Hedman, and Stamkos, and he's produced so far this season. So I think he could be a really popular cheap center. And then Johansson, 3.6K for Colorado. He is the cheapest center that gets top power play minutes. So he's going to be skating with Nathan McKinnon and Makar and Rantanen and all those other big guys on Colorado. Very, very limited floor, but anytime that you're going to be skating on the same ice as McKinnon and Makar, you're going to have an opportunity to get on the score sheet. Heading towards the wing, David Pastrnak for Boston. If you just want to go a one-off on Pastrnak, I would totally understand that. And really, like, I feel like that's almost the way to go in terms of Boston. Like, they have a cheap center in Zacha, but they're probably going to be matched up against Connor Bedard. But Taylor Hall, he's out for Chicago. Chicago's just battling some injuries right now. So maybe I actually like Boston a little bit more. So maybe pair Pastrnak with Zacha. You could totally do that. I didn't put him in the center here, but he should be included. Brady Tkachuk, not Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk. I'm blanking right now. It's late at night as I'm recording this video. But 8.3K, he should be just fine offensively and doing very well. Keller, already talked about him. Connor, Hyman, already talked about them. New Jersey, really big on them. Again, Bratt, he skates on that second line for New Jersey. So he's with Nico Hischier at center. He's away from Jack Hughes and Toffoli, but he still skates on the top power play unit, so I don't mind him there. Schmaltz, yeah, JVR, 4.9K. You're looking just for like a shot floor with JVR, but he also does skate on the top power play unit, so he's going to have that opportunity. Kopp, he's kind of been the same deal in that he's been shooting the puck quite a bit, and he skates on just a juggernaut of an offense to start the year. I didn't expect to say that to start the year with Detroit's offense, but that's what they are. They've been a juggernaut. And then Bjorkstrand, I think, could just be a cheap winger who's going to be getting a lot of ice time and is one of the leading shot producers for Seattle. On defense, Roman Josi for Nashville, 7.5K. He's just a guy who does everything. He gets the peripherals. He gets shots on goal, block shots. He can get the bonus there. He can even get the 3-point bonus with, getting a goal or 2 assists, or no goals and 3 assists. He's he's like a forward that plays defense, essentially. But I actually almost prefer Hamilton to him, just because I'll take that $900 discount. Shea Theodore, pay attention to the Vegas injury report. If Alex Pietrangelo is back in, I'm going to reduce my interest in Shea Theodore. If Pietrangelo is out, he's a fine play at $6,000. Moritz Seider, 5.6K. This is the Detroit defenseman. He's going to be skating with Dylan Larkin and Alex DeBrincat. If you want to get off of Raymond in this Detroit stack, if you want to go DeBrincat, Larkin, and Moritz Seider, I would totally understand that. I think that's a perfectly fine 3-man stack if you do want to go in that direction. Mackenzie Weegar, 5K for Calgary. Anderson for Calgary was their top defenseman, and he ate up a lot of minutes, and then he decided to hit Patrick Laine in the head at the end of a game, and now he's suspended for 4. So he's out. So Mackenzie Weegar, in the one game that he already took over for Anderson's spot, he smashed. He got 5 shots on net for the bonus, and he got 3 block shots for the bonus on that. He got 20 DK points, and he didn't even get on the score sheet. So Weegar, if he's able to do that again, I'm going to have a lot of interest there. OEL, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 4.8K. He skates with Rodriguez, Barkov, Reinhart on that top power play unit for Florida. Going to have a lot of interest there. Slavin, 4.1K. He's been shooting the puck a ton. He's been blocking shots a ton. And he's even been getting on the score sheet. And I really think that this Tampa Bay-Carolina game is really going to be up and down the ice. It honestly would not shock me if it's one of the higher scoring games on the entire slate, because we talked about Carolina's goalkeeper woes with Ranta. Tampa Bay, they do not have any great goaltending either on their side of things, because Vasilevsky is injured and out until December. And you can see here, Tampa Bay, they've allowed the second most shots on net in the entire league so far. So maybe some bad puck luck, and next thing you know, this Carolina-Tampa Bay game is going to be a complete shootout. So I could have a lot of interest in both of those teams. Sanheim, you're looking for the block shot bonus, and really most of these guys down here, you're looking for the block shot bonus. Ferraro for San Jose, Romanov for the Islanders. The Islanders just in general just block a ton of shots. It's just how their system works. But Romanov, I think we talked about him in the previous video. Ferraro, we talked about in the last San Jose video, and both of them did very well. So we're going to be going back to the well with them. They're just guys who career-wise block a whole lot of shots, and the opportunity is going to be there for them to do very well. So that kind of covers it. This is where the full lines again are in terms of all the lines that have full correlation on the power play, as well as skating at even strength. Winnipeg, I think, sticks out the most here just because they're facing off against the St. Louis team that can't stop anybody on the power play. So yeah, I mean, that kind of covers everything. Thank you for watching. It really truly does mean a lot to me. Drop a comment down below, hit subscribe, and then come check us out at FSi DFS. I'd love to have you in the Discord. I'd love to chat with a bunch of you, answer any questions that you might have regarding the slate, and hopefully you stay around. So thanks for watching as always. Good luck in your contest. We will see you on Wednesday for, I think, is another just one game slate, but we'll do a showdown, a breakdown for you.